Of course, we have heard from faith leaders on every side of this issue. Many who would agree on conversations about theology are far apart on issues of the task force. Yet, they're each trying to do what's best for their congregation and the greater Memphis community. We're happy to have back with us the pastor of Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church, Dr. J. Lawrence Turner. Dr. Turner, always glad to have you back here on 3 at 3.
Yes.
I want to start with a quote from Governor Bill Lee today. He said the Memphis Safe Task Force efforts could last forever and the numerous agencies on the ground in the city could collaborate on solving crime for a long time. I want to go back to something a friend of mine said this past Sunday at church. Color this picture, if you would, outside the lines. What does this mean? Will this likely last forever? And what impact could that likely have, good, bad, or however you feel?
The word forever raises eyebrows for me. Again, I've been one who acknowledges the reality. We do have a challenge with crime in Memphis. This surge is not something I've particularly been a fan of, but typically missions have a goal. I don't think Memphis has a forever kind of timeline to reach our goal. I also believe that a public safety issue also is something that has to be dealt with, making sure we have a safety net for our community that helps to respond to economic disparities.
Because I know so many people have talked about, well, what happens next if the task force does not last forever, if they do leave or it morphs into something else? What happens next for the city? What do we do collectively?
Right. Well, I think this is an opportunity. I think government has its place, right? Our city mayor, county mayor, and the law enforcement that serves our communities, they're going to do their part. But I think we as a community have an opportunity in collaboration with them to work towards not only those initiatives to do with the immediate needs, such as making sure people have SNAP benefits and Medicaid and all that kind of stuff, but to make sure we can upskill our workforce and that people have economic opportunities that are ahead, because what many people have not lifted up during this time is how much poverty is one of the root causes of the crime that we see in our community.
Dr. Turner, we're also hearing from Mayor Young, who said he hopes some of the other agencies invoked in President Trump's memorandum, including the Departments of Housing and Urban Development and Health and Human Services, could play a long-term role in crime reduction. As he says, we can't ask people to put guns down without putting something else in their hands. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it makes complete sense to me. This has only been addressed with an increase in law enforcement officers. What Mayor Young is lifting up is the reality. We need an investment here from our federal government that help to deal with improving the quality of life for all Memphians. And I think all of us want a safe city. And what he's speaking about is the long-term impact that
Are we talking about collaborations here, real collaborations that have a potentially lasting impact? What do you see?
Yes, totally. When it comes to collaborations that bring lasting impact, when we look at the way the labor landscape is changing, how people are moving, our economy is moving more to STEM careers, we've got to be prepared to make sure our students and other community members are able to make that leap, make that shift into those careers so that they can thrive. I think when he talks about those other federal agencies, these are things that I believe every American city should have access to, and the federal government should be concerned about making these things available.
What is the temperature that you're taking throughout your own congregation and throughout the Memphis community? What do you think people are feeling about the National Guard and the Memphis Safe Task Force being here almost 3 weeks now?
I've heard very responsible and sober-minded conversation. Just as I started out by saying, you know, Memphis, we do have a challenge with crime. Other American cities do too. So it's not like we are the only city who struggles with crime. But I've also heard them express concern over how traffic times for certain commutes have gotten longer because of people just not wanting to have to interact with law enforcement. I've heard some concern over checkpoints being set up in odd communities based upon the intent of this particular task force. And so it's brought a sense of dis-ease and anxiety. And so I hope that all this energy around law enforcement and public safety doesn't make the rest of our community feel anxious concerning, you know, what's happening around them.
A couple other things I want to definitely get your thoughts on when it comes to politics. The 9th Congressional District.
Yes.
Steve Cohen now versus Justin J. Pearson, the local state representative from Memphis, and of course the congressman. How do you see that? I won't ask you for who you would like to see win, but what do we need to hear from each candidate?
Right. So I think as we look at this particular race, this seat is so important. It's the only congressional seat that's Democratic in the state of Tennessee. And so as voters go to the box, I have great respect for both men. We want to think about, in the political climate that we're living in, who can best represent us in Washington. We want to think about their capacity to legislate, to get laws passed. And the third thing that not many of us pay attention to, the work of those in the U.S. Senate and House, is to make sure resources get delivered back to our community. And so where one serves when it comes to committees matters, because they're able to direct funds and resources back to Memphis. And so those are the kinds of things that I think voters should assess each candidate on when they're getting ready to go into the ballot box.
One last thing I got to ask you about, the new partnership announced a little bit earlier, not too long ago, with Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church and Meharry College. Where do we stand with that?
It continues to move forward. Last week I was excited to be in Nashville and to deliver the convocation address at Meharry.
Wow.
And so that office is in place, and to hear some of the students there speak of looking forward to being here in Memphis to do their rotations as they're in their third or fourth year is exciting. So it continues to grow, and hopefully in maybe a number of months you might be hearing about them putting a definitive stake down in Memphis and continue to expand their footprint.
When you get a chance, we got to bring them on 3 at 3 with you so we can talk about this.
We're going to make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Dr. J. Lawrence Turner, always good to see you.
Always good to be with you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.